Hello everyone and welcome to another DJ Lab talking video. Starting a mini-series about spicing up your drum grooves using delay and reverb effects. Today's clip will be all about reverb and I'm working with the Roland TR-8S. But as always, the ideas and concepts shown in this video can be applied to many modern drum machines and setups, including your DAW. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Reverb is an effect you can use to make dry sounds, like those playing in the background, more exciting by giving them a virtual space to resonate with, acting like a canvas behind your beat. Let's try it out. While reverb also adds sustain and fullness, it pushes the affected sounds back in the mix, so don't overdo it. Here's another tip. Try to limit the amount of instruments sent into the reverb to have the effect stand out more. Next, we'll talk about more detailed reverb settings while keeping the groove simple. Don't worry though, there are more sophisticated beats to come. Let's start with reverb types. These have varying textures and emulate different room sizes. Here are the most common ones in action. Hall reverbs are modeled to sound like relatively large concert halls, while room and ambient reverb simulate smaller spaces. The plate type usually has the most high-end and sustain, as it resembles real metal plates as reverberating material. Once settled for a type of your liking, many reverbs allow you to tweak the length of the trail, aka reverb time, as well as pre-delay and come with basic EQ controls. Let's talk about setting the time first. Since it's tempting to dial in too much reverb time and accidentally drown everything, I recommend keeping it as short as possible. My go-to length is roughly an eighth note. If you really want to go for a longer time though, try to have the reverb die out about the time its source signal gets played again. When deciding the EQ settings, I think of it this way. Lots of high-end help the effect cut through the mix. That's nice for dense sequences, but may sound too artificial or cold. Darker reverbs are great for atmospheric vibes, but are harder to hear in more crowded patterns. Since decreasing the high end makes the trails less pronounced, it's a good idea to adjust your sends accordingly. As always, try to cut as many lows as you can afford. Another tool to add dimension to your reverb is pre-delay, as it adds a short amount of time between the initial sound and the beginning of the trail. Try it on quick and snappy sounds to hear what it does and keep the reverb time low. Increase the pre-delay until you can hear the gap, then dial back a bit. Depending on the available pre-delay range, you can get quite rhythmic using longer delay times. This is a nice way to add some rumble to your kick drum. As you can hear, the available 100 milliseconds of the TR-8S aren't quite enough to have the reverb land exactly on the offbeat, even though I'm working with the 140 BPM sequence. Taking out the high end and increasing the reverb time helps to mask this. This trick doesn't only work with bass drums though, so try it on other sounds as well. You can also incorporate tweaking the reverb settings as a part of your performance. Similar to a filter, it's always nice to emphasize or remove certain frequencies to create interest, so try using your reverb EQ to prepare breaks and drops. After opening the soundscape like this, it's a good idea to close it again before the kick comes back in. To achieve this, decrease the high end. One of my favorite performance tricks using reverb, however, is to prepare a send with the longest reverb possible and feed short hits into it. This is also the last one for today's video, so if you enjoyed it so far, feel free to like and subscribe or let me know in the comments below if I missed something.